Hello and thank you for joining us for this special interview on the sidelines of the Dubai Air Show, which, as you can hear, is very much in progress right now. Sitting down with me now is the CEO of Oman Air, Korfiatis. Thank you very much indeed for speaking to Arabiya English.
Hello Tom, how are you? Pleasure to be with you today.
Thank you so much. Tell us, first of all, I know lots is happening at Oman Air at the moment. What sort of a year is 2025 shaping up to be?
I think 2025 is the first year we can say of a major success evolution from where we started. Oman Air is a premium airline, state-owned airline, a legacy airline if you like, and we have a wonderful product, modern aircraft. We live in a beautiful country, which is home, and we have a lovely culture and ethos in the country, and very personal one. And so it's a proud airline with a great history in terms of customer support and its loyalty. However, as a business, it's been broken. And you know, the main part over the last few years for us is really to fix the business side of it so that we can justify continued investment in the airline and go to growth. The transformation journey commenced in earnest in 24, and 24 was really a discovery of, like, let's identify all the problems that we have. We moved the needle in terms of the performance and the results and all sorts of things, but I think 25 is a quantum leap on what we've done by the end of 24, both in terms of commercial success and new boundaries that we've broken, and then on the cost side, having identified a lot of the things that we need to fix, gone a long way in addressing a lot of those, and the journey continues.
Okay, and you're hoping to break even, I gather, by 2027?
Yeah, so we have a North Star for ourselves in terms of being formally out of transformation, and that is to take an airline that was traditionally losing a lot of money and bring it to an EBIT break even by the end of 2026, and that's our target. And you know, it was a three-year program, equal steps each year. And I'm really proud to say that our expected bottom line for this year is a third of the losses, or a third of what they were in 23 when we started, when it was the last year before transformation, and we expect to and have a budget to get us to that break even next year.
Wow, so a lot is happening. And you've made some really big changes as well, haven't you, to your fleet already? You've only been in the job for, well, barely 2 years, a year and a half. What was the logic behind that?
So for an airline that's a mid-size airline, we had a very complex fleet. For example, we had 20 wide-body aircraft split between two different two different manufacturers, and then within them we had 3 different sub-fleets. So in 20 wide-body aircraft, we had 6 different sub-fleets within 20 aircraft. No economies of scale, no efficiencies, lots of different spare parts required. You know, you needed to move capacity around, aircraft with different configurations. It was just really, really messy. Also, it was a combination of older aircraft and very new, latest generation aircraft. And so we took the opportunity to simplify the fleet, centralize around the most modern, efficient, fuel efficient, low emissions, and the latest customer proposition we could provide our customers. And so we centralized around the 787 fleet. We're on a similar journey with our 73s, which is our narrow body fleet backbone. We have a combination of Maxes already, and they are the predominant amount of the fleet, but we still had about 8 or 9 NGs when I started. We're down to 4 now, and they'll be exiting the fleet over the next year or 2 as well. And so we'll be centralized around modern, fuel efficient Boeing 787s and Boeing Max 8, and hopefully, actually, as we go forward and we grow, some larger derivatives of the Max aircraft as well.
Okay, and of course you're in a region with a lot of hub and spoke airlines that are very heavily dependent on transit passengers. Sounds like, from what you're telling me with regards to your ambitions for the fleet, very much sort of narrow-body centric. Are you therefore really focusing on point-to-point traffic and perhaps leaving that to one side, leaving that to the competition?
That's a good question, Tom. I think, you know, the airline, from what I've ascertained, has had various strategies over the years, and one of them was trying to be a significant transit player. And when you look at the size of the mega hub carriers that are just next door to us in the Middle East, that wasn't really a wise strategy. And that's probably the area we've made the most significant change in on the commercial side of the organisation. We've said, well, you know, what is the USP of Oman Air and Oman itself as a destination relative to everything else that we have in the region? And the answer is, it's Oman itself. Oman is an absolutely stunning country. Its tourism assets are unique. and complementary to other things you will find in the Middle East, but they are unique to Oman, and they're beautiful. And for the people who know it, they're return visitors, and they speak, and they're preachers of what we represent. So we said, well, with that in mind, we need to move more to a point-to-point solution. The country itself is on an economic transition program. One of those pillars is to build tourism, and then we're building a lot of infrastructure to support that tourism growth. And of course, they need a healthy, strong national airline which will bring more visitors to Oman. So when I started, 15% of our traffic was point to point. Today, less than 2 years, 55%. We're hoping to grow it to over 50% into 2026. That is a significant change, and it's worth more to the airline because it gives us a higher quality of revenue with the point-to-point traffic. But of course, it adds a lot of money to the Oman economy versus people who are just transiting through the airport.
You've had a very busy year and a half, haven't you? Because one of the other things you've done since taking up the job of CEO is to bring Oman Air into the One World Alliance. You're about 4 months into that relationship. How's it going?
It's going really well. I mean, just a few statistics. With our own aircraft, we today have 42 routes we fly. We have existing partnerships, some of which go back years. Together with the partnerships we had pre-One World, we were at 90-something routes. With One World, we now have 900 routes to offer. So that platform of an alliance of some of the largest airlines in the world, and the geographic footprint of those airlines being complementary to us as well, is very valuable. It's valuable to Oman Air's own existing loyal customers in terms of the opportunities in a network we can offer them now being far greater than what we could in staying loyal to us before and banking their points in the loyalty programs with us and their credits with us, because they do a lot of flying with us as well. But we can expand the appeal of that to them. But also in terms of using the distribution strength of these really strong One World partner airlines in using their distribution strength to help put Oman and Oman Air also more on the map and feed in our direction as well.
I'm sure it hasn't all been plain sailing. Why would it be? There have been some supply chain challenges as well. What have been the main bottlenecks?
So, yeah, look, if it was all plain sailing, life would not be fun, right? So, in a way, it also goes with the territory. Look, I mean, our supply chain challenges are predominantly aircraft related and are really no different to anyone else, the other airlines in the world who have the modern aircraft. The modern aircraft have brought great leaps forward in technology, you know, the efficiency of the aircraft, the flying efficiency of the aircraft, significant fuel savings. These are all real benefits. But unfortunately, on the maintenance side of it, reliability issues with the new technology are there. They're pretty significant. They're quite disruptive. We have a number of aircraft on the ground at the moment without engines, and it's a peak season. We could be flying them full of very happy customers wanting to come to Oman, and it's inhibiting us from achieving the maximum potential which you live for in the peak periods, right? So, but as I say, we're on a journey with the world on this one. The OEMs are obviously very focused on addressing this. They have no interest in things remaining like this, but unfortunately, the fixes are taking time, and we're not there yet, and the pain will remain for some time still, I think.
Al Arabiya is, of course, a Saudi channel. Just tell us briefly, if you don't mind, how is Saudi Arabia performing for you as a market, inbound and outbound?
Well, I mean, Saudi Arabia is a bit of a juggernaut, right? So, and I lived there for nearly 8 years before coming to Oman. It's got the largest local population in the GCC, the largest population in the GCC as well. It's a huge market, and it's a market that I think has very recently started its own campaigns in terms of aviation growth and the like, and the industry and the world, I think, is well aware of the targets that they have. We're not immune from that opportunity sitting in Oman, because, you know, my view on the GCC is it's actually an advantage to us to be sitting in a hot region with some of the biggest mega hubs and with markets like Saudi, in that there's a halo effect. I don't think, you know, traffic to and from the Middle East and within the Middle East is a mature market. unlike many other parts of the world which are mature markets, and our growth rates therefore at the very high end relative to other parts of the world, and that opportunity, we tap into that as well. Our own flights into Saudi Arabia, at the moment we serve, just doing a quick head count, 5 destinations. We plan to expand that, and we also plan to expand our frequencies to the ones we're currently flying as well. Those routes are doing really, really well. There's really healthy traffic between the two, so we're pleased with our services.
Okay, just before we wrap up, obviously a very busy year, new job for you, lots of things have been happening. The turnaround plan is well underway, already bearing fruit. Probably a bit early, but looking back at the turnaround plan and what you've achieved so far, what would you say has been your number one lesson from all of this?
Number one lesson? Look, honestly, this industry, I've been in it for a long time, and I've stayed in it for this long because it continues to evolve. I think, learning agility is very, very important. Being acutely aware of what's going on in the industry is really, really important. And I think, with the transformation, I've done transformations before. There are things you expect, and a lot of that was in the airline when I joined. Was there anything remarkable that I didn't expect? Not massively, to be honest with you. It's various degrees of things. The organisation is on a huge learning curve, perhaps a little bit bigger than what I expected it would be at the start, especially for the size of the airline. But we've got a lot of passionate people in our organisation with a great deal of love for the company, and I think at the start, I'm sure there was a large number of our people who were doubting the transformation and doubting what might have been wrong and whether this was going to help. And it's amazing how quickly they've adopted and they've learned, and they're believers, and they're fully supportive and working absolutely determined to achieve where we need to go. We carry the country's name on our aircraft, and therefore with that goes great responsibility, and I think that's not lost in our people, and our success so far is because of them. So I'm very, very proud.
Okay, well, we really appreciate you taking the time to speak to us. Thank you very much indeed. Korfiatis, the CEO of Oman Air, thank you very much indeed. And thank you very much indeed to you for watching. Please stay with us here on Al Arabiya English.